This podcast provides a variety of helpful hints of how best we can be more authentic, more sincere in our interests of working with others and serving those around us. I've had all kinds of bosses during my professional life. My first boss as an 11-year-old was a 15-year-old teenager who wore a t-shirt, had slick back hair, and he had a paper route, and he was looking for an assistant. He drove a 55 Chevy and had a pack of cigarettes rolled up on his right sleeve. He didn't really care about the customers on his route. They were kind of in the way. He had a way about him that was abrasive, and I was his assistant as an 11-year-old. I learned from him as I took over his route when he decided to move on, all the things I didn't want to do. I learned by watching him deal with customers. I had, over my 50 or so years, bosses that were female, people of color, older than me, younger than me, certainly well educated. My last supervisor was a 5-star general. He had an authentic style, much different than my first supervisor nearly 55 years ago. It was up to me to adapt regardless of the style. I had the pleasure of serving 5 university presidents during my 50-year career. Each one of them had different strengths and weaknesses. I wanted to make sure, for example, when I had a new supervisor, never to say we've always done it that way. That I was looking for opportunities to fill a void. What can I do to add value to his or her goals and objectives? How can I help that individual be successful? If my supervisor is successful, I'll be successful. Never assume that a new supervisor understands what you're doing. Put yourself in a position of educating. Let that individual know what you have accomplished and do it in a way that is non-defensive. Listen first, understand later. Support the new vision in an all-in philosophy. If you can't do that, you might want to look for something other than what you're doing. Always work for ways for self-improvement. Get feedback. Trust and respect is always earned by the position. We build trust by having confidential conversations and being a problem solver. People in authority are looking for individuals to solve problems. Anyone can raise issues and concerns. Believe me, people are looking for individuals that are willing to roll up their sleeves and crawl through broken glass to find solutions to complex problems. With any experience with a new supervisor, someone you're going to directly report to, changes in the air. Embrace the change. Look carefully for ways to add value to your relationship, and maybe be a little more pragmatic of understanding their style, how they communicate, what's their rhythm. I know that as a 16-year-old, when I started working for a major grocery store, like a Hy-Vee or a Dillon's only on the East Coast, our manager needed someone to unload tractor trailers with him at 6 a.m. every morning. Well, I volunteered. So it meant that from 6 to about 8 o'clock before I went off to school, I was with a 35-year-old manager of a grocery store, and he and I would physically unload a tractor trailer. They would come in promptly at 6 a.m. Now, as we're unloading, he would talk about Johnny Carson's show, be on at 11:30 on the East Coast, and that was his reference. Well, I was a 16-year-old high school kid and was not listening initially to Johnny Carson. Well, I'll tell you, after the first week, I started staying up listening to Johnny Carson so that I could speak to my boss and relate to where he was. I know that when I came to the university, a variety of supervisors, I had one individual who was a one-page communicator. If you couldn't communicate the problem and the solution in one page, he wasn't going to read it. So I became adept to communicating solutions to complex problems in one page. Now, some people play golf to be able to relate to those that they work with. I wanted to make sure that I was connected in some informal way. I had a supervisor that ran every day in the field house from 11:30 to 1. Well, I wasn't running initially. I started running from 11:30 to 1 in the field house because that gave me informal time with an individual who had opportunity to make a difference on our campus, and I wanted to make sure that I had those informal opportunities. I had another supervisor that would come in every morning at 5:30 a.m. And if you wanted quality time with him, one-on-one, you came early, and I did it routinely, just to have that opportunity to take advantage of the rhythm of the day. I'm interested in making a difference with a new boss. So that means understanding his or her rhythm, their communication styles, and how best can you make an impact and serve those individuals. And sometimes it means adapting, embracing change, all in the sphere of making a difference.